Duku Masoret HaMikra, Parashat Behaalotecha 12. There are two words in two different Pesukim that the pronunciation is a little unusual, and I'm going to review that right now. The first one is in Perek Yud Aleph Pasuk Daled, V'hasafsuf asher bekirbo hitavut ha'ava. The word V'hasafsuf, it comes from the Rashi and Ibn Ezra say, who are the Hasafsuf, the Erev Rav, shene'esfu alehem, who associated and were added to Bnei Yisrael. They were associated with Bnei Yisrael, even though, of course, they originally were not from Bnei Yisrael. In the pronunciation of that word, even though it's from the word Ne'esaf, where you have a Hataf Segol under the Aleph, in Hachai writes, when you read the word V'hasafsuf, the Aleph is Naha. There is no Nikud, there is no vowel underneath the Aleph, and the Aleph is silent. So the word is read V'hasafsuf, as if the Aleph is not there, and not V'hasafsuf, but V'hasafsuf. That's the way it's read. The second word that is found in Perek Yud Aleph Pasuk Het, there it says, Perek Yud Aleph Pasuk Het, Shatu ha'am v'laketu v'tahanu barechaim. Shatu means they scavenged, they went all over, and they collected the man. In this case, it's the man. They went around and they collected the man from different places. It wasn't all in one. It wasn't all collected in one spot, but they went around and collected it. So the word here, shatu. Normally, when you have a word developed from a verb, nahe'ain vav, like the Ibn Ezra writes here, the word shatu comes from shoot, and he brings a proof from a pasuk in Iyov, where they use that term, and also in many other words like that. For example, kum, shuv, roots, where you have a vav, it's called nahe'ain vav because you have a vav in the middle of the word, and oftentimes that vav is omitted when you conjugate that word, when you put in different constructions of it. So normally you say, for example, with verbs of that sort, of that gizra, we say kamu when you're talking about the past tense avar with the rabim nistar. In other words, in the third person, the plural of the third person, in the past tense you say kamu, shavu, ratsu. You don't say kamu, ratsu, because that's not the way it's written. Shavu is a different story. There's another source of the shoresh there where you can have shin bet he, then you can say shavu. But if it's shuv, from the ha and vav, it says shavu. Here, the word also comes from the ha and vav, but it's pronounced shatu. And Hachai brings down the masoret from different books, and also from what he says is Sefer Svaradi Kadmon, where they saw the masoret written down, and it's written there let u'melera. There's no other word like that in the Tanakh, and it's pronounced melera. And many others also say the word is pronounced melera, so it's pronounced shatu, not shatu, even though the other verbs similar to that with nahe'ain vav are pronounced melera. This one's melera. And they also say there's another two, where very similar, where again those verbs are pronounced melera. One is Vesaru Hasfardeim in Shemot Het Zayin, not Vesaru, but Vesaru Hasfardeim. And then in Bereshit Mem Tetvav, Kisamu Oti Babor. Yosef tells the Sarah HaMashkim, Kisamu Oti Babor. Again, it is Melera, the same as this one here. Ba'al Torah, another one of the Ba'alei Masoret from before the Min Hachai quotes him. He says the following. He says, if that's what's been received in Kabbalah Nekabel, if that's what's coming down, that from the Kabbalah from one to the other, from one Hacham to the other, that it's supposed to be Nekabel, we'll accept it. But V'im Ladin Yesh Teshuvah. If it's according to the grammar, he says there's an answer for that. Really, according to the grammar, it shouldn't be that way. Because not just the Ha and Vav, he also points to the Tam. She'atelisha ketana, the Tam that's on the end of the word there, V'samu, V'shatu, it's a Telisha ketana, which we call today a Tarsa. So it's always found at the, he says, that's no proof that you have to pronounce the word Milera, because there are cases where you have that ta'am, which is always found on the end of the word, the way we went through it once before with the word v'kacha, tochelu atov from Minhachai. He points to all these cases where certain ta'amim, particularly this one here, tasa is always at the end of the word, but it does not necessarily dictate the fact that all the words are read like that, be'melera. So he says, if it's because of the Kabbalah that everybody accepted it from one to the other, fine. It was passed down that way. That's the Masoret. I accept it. He says, but if it's according to the way the Nikud and the Dikduk and the Ta'amim go, and the way the Ta'amim normally are dictate where you pronounce the word, the Tasad is not one of those Ta'amim. We always find at the end of the word, sometimes the pronunciation is the end of the word, Milera, sometimes Milerel. So here, there's no proof, he says, from that. But, Kabbalah Nekabel, so if that's the way the Masoret is, we will accept it.